Hi, my name is Anthony Kagochi. Everyone calls me Tony. I am in the mental health counseling program here at Antioch University. I actually did my undergrad here at Antioch. I did the BA completion with a teaching certificate, and so now I decided to come back and pursue a psychology degree. When Anne asked me to participate in this program, I was kind of surprised a little bit. I was always kind of a struggling student, not just a struggling writer. I had behavior issues, and so when you have behavior issues, that kind of stunts your growth academically a lot of the times. Or maybe it's because you're low in academic, you have behavior issues, who knows. But, and so whenever I would turn in something, whether it's a writing piece or a math piece, the teachers would always criticize it pretty harshly, with the red ink and papers that are bleeding, full of corrections that are supposed to be made. And so I pretty much was not a very confident writer, I guess that's where it. And so because of all those years of not having confidence in my writing, and not really being given any freedom, I also, I grew up in classrooms where the teacher told you exactly what you need to write about, and you were expected to write about that. And the days of creative writing and free writing and poetry and all those other genres, I didn't really get to experience. And so writing was so cumbersome, and it was such, it was like running an errand that you didn't want to run. It was like, okay, I gotta write, and I know it's going to be wrong because she's going to, criticize it. And so by the time I got into high school, I had this negative perception of what writing was until my first teacher, her name was Mrs. Seidenstricker, and I remember her, and she was, I took creative writing as an elective, and because I thought, I'm going to be honest, I thought, oh, it's probably going to be pretty easy, because I thought it was just going to be, maybe writing some poetry or something. But she really, revealed to me, because I didn't know this yet, this entire literacy world that I wasn't tuned to. With poetry, with like I said, creative writing, with free writing, with all these different things that I could do. Without borders, and it was nice. And I remember I created this journal, and it was just all about my fears and all about those teenage dark things that you have as a teenager. And I remember keeping that journal, and that's when I started kind of liking to write.
And then, so you go through high school, and you eventually get here to Antioch, and you have to write all these APA papers. And
yes.
How did you start to transition? Because I can imagine there's a lot of people like you at Antioch,
right,
who enjoyed the freedom of writing and that, but now are feeling constrained, perhaps.
Yes, and I did have that experience because I came in here, used to kind of, writing in ways that I could express myself without having to worry about those boundaries. And then here, of course, being at a higher education, college level writing, your professors want you to, back up your content. They want you to have topic sentences, and everything has to be concise and clear. And at first, I kind of bucked, I kind of went against that. I thought, no, you're holding me back, you're holding my creativity. And what I came to find out is that, you can't be, you're not being creative if you're not being clear. Because we don't, if the reader or the audience doesn't know what you're trying to convey, then, you could be, conveying something totally different than what you're intending to. And so I did struggle with that. And to be quite honest with you, for lack of a better explanation, Steve, a lot of it just came from practice. A lot of it just came from, I'm just going to keep writing these papers and taking this constructive criticism. And I think that was when I kind of turned the corner, accepting that criticism as not taking it personally. This is your piece of writing, and this is what you could improve upon it, and try not to take it personally. And that's hard, because when you pour your heart and soul into something, and someone says, sorry, you know, this verb tense is totally wrong in this paragraph, or you know, this isn't supporting what your thesis is saying, that could be kind of a downer. For me, the writing process is very vulnerable. For me, when I mean vulnerable, I look at writing, or I think about writing as a piece of myself, or if I'm reading your writing, I'm getting a window of who you are. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a narrative for me to get that window. It could be an APA paper, a journal, anything. That is part of who you are. That is how you're thinking. And so I think it's an honor to read other people's pieces, really, because they're letting me into their world. And so as a tutor, when I look at other people's writing, I look at it in that respect of, like, I'm honored that they're allowing me to read this piece. I hope I'm giving the writer a friendly ear where they can not only be vulnerable, but they could also trust that that I can give them some perspective on the larger order concerns. Is it organized? You know, what are you trying to say? As the audience, am I hearing what you're saying? You know, do I feel like when I read the topic and then I read the paper and I finished it, do I feel like I got something from it? Do I feel like I learned something? Do I feel like I felt an emotion coming out of me, if it's not necessarily a dry paper like APA? So, and so what I want to give them is that perspective.